screen and put your video on. We'll be back
Okay.
in business. Yeah.
Oh, I gotta put the video. Just 1 second, everybody, and I'll be with you. CT. Here it is. Lecture final AE. Okay. Okay. Let's see where we are here. Ah, yes, our famous Signet story. Well, that's not good. Okay, and now we're going to start the video. And I think we're okay. Are we alive over here? How are we doing here? 219 people or whatever. We should have another 50 people. Joshua.
We are live. We are live now.
And you want to tell me that if I need to do anything?
No.
We're all good? All right. So.
Another 1 minute that everybody who gets the link will be able to link back in.
No problem.
Yeah, I see people are coming on. People are coming on.
That's fine. People are leaving. In any case, I'm just looking over here. So we'll have some chats. Things will be good, my friends. It's all going to be great. And this is the story about technology. It works wonders, but it's not as consistent as you'd like yet. So as I'm talking about this thing, the question is, does the diamond industry have an ability to protect itself, to have another kind of a filter other than boom, whatever happens at retail happens to us. We're tied to a sinking ship and we're done. And I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes. And I think that's an important thing that we want to understand. Now, the story of Signet's share price, I don't want to go into, the first thing, it's a fine company. They're nice people. They're doing what they can. But their share price doesn't lie. And people are bidding. They're buying, they're selling, they do whatever they want. Now, the 71% decline is significant. And so when we look at Signet, we say, are we all Signet bound? And because, Signet's got a lot of stores in malls, it's got a lot of ways of doing business, it sells all kinds of stuff. So is this telling us, is this going to be us, the diamond and jewelry industry in general? I don't think so, obviously, but it's a warning. It's something we should be aware of. So let's dig in a little bit deeper, okay? Let's look at Tiffany. So Signet takes a bath, okay, drops 93% since January 2016. But, here they were the same. Here they were the same. It was actually above them. And then Tiffany went one way, Signet went another. And maybe this talks to branding. This talks to what is your message. This talks to how you run your business, maybe. I don't think Signet's run by bad people or anything. So you got to think about the value of brands in jewelry and where this goes. But you need to remember something. Signet sells everything, or a broad range of diamonds. Tiffany's the pickiest guy in the round. I don't think the diamond industry can live just based on what we can sell or do business with Tiffany and Cartier and Boucheron and Van Cleef. They're very big. That's the top of the pyramid, right? What about the base of the pyramid? So we got to understand, what are we going to do about this? And I'm putting this out because this isn't just coronavirus. Okay, here you got coronavirus. Coronavirus is waking us up. Okay, this over here. But this other movement is not that base. And look what else this means. Let me really freak you out. Okay, Signet, and this here tells you these are market caps. Okay, so Tiffany was worth 2.16, 2 times what the market cap in 2010. It was almost the same in 2015. But look what happened in 2018. Even though Signet sold about 50% more revenues, 6.2 billion, 4.4. The market cap went to 9.6 here, and it dropped to 1.8 there. Big drops. Drop. So you got to 5 times, 60. Now, and this is just like yesterday, you're at 25 times. That means Tiffany is worth 25 times what Signet is worth. And probably, I would be surprised. Signet, now I don't know who's selling anything, but and even the market cap dropped to Tiffany. They were lucky; someone came in to buy them, But even here, it was 5 times. The point is, Signet's at $530 million today, which is not a lot of money. I mean, I could probably put together some buddies and we could buy them, but what will we do with them? So, you got to think about this. What is going on over here? What kind of retail is happening? And what's going to happen now that we've had this virus and we had this move to digital and all this stuff is happening? And so there's a lot of change in the works over here. And I know that I'm asking a lot of questions and not giving answers yet. And I won't necessarily have all the answers, but retail is definitely going to be doing major changes. And this is just showing you the stuff. I don't even know why it's there. Okay, now. So you got a little kind of understanding of what's going on around here that's kind of weird, that is not just corona-based. Now, we have to ask a question. How do we solve these problems as an industry? Where do we go? So the first question is the diamond industry solely a B2C story? Now, the big mining companies, the big people all got into this craziness that diamonds are luxury, luxury, luxury. And that's it. So if diamonds are just luxury, then it's all about making money, trying to sell consumers luxury. And there doesn't seem to be anything else. Now that I'm gonna really speak strongly against that approach in a minute. But let's ask the questions. If B2C dies, does the whole industry die? Are we captured by Signet or Signet type retailers? Okay, you say, well, you got Blue Nile and you got James Allen and you got some other people and everyone's going to go on the internet. That's a good answer, by the way. But right now, it seems everybody is this traditional kind of a store situation. Now, here's the big: is there a viable B2B sector that can support the market when B2C is weak? And that's a question for now. Just what's happening in the next months, weeks, well, months maybe. And so now the question starts to be, well, what is the role of the dealer here? Isn't there supposed to be a dealer that's like a buffer? So you show me something that's really cheap, you're going to jump into it? And also, what is the idea of diamonds? Friends of mine, or Stephen Lucier from Division Associates, say, sell the idea behind the diamonds. Okay, fine. What is that idea? What is the idea behind the diamond? And luxury. Is there another idea? What was Oppenheimer thinking about in the late 20s or early 30s when there was an absolute depression in the United States and no one was buying diamonds? Did he say, I'm not going to do anything with diamonds because there's no customers, and since there's no customers, I'm not going to come up with genius ideas to consolidate the mines and to make advertising and to spend money, which I think basically Harry did from Ernest. They were saying, we are diamond men. We are diamond people. We're not retailers. We're going to get the retailers to buy from us. But there was a sense of identity of people who were dealers or mining in those days. And they're saying, we are the diamond industry. We're not little schmuckalainies that goes after the market, the buyer, the customer, and say whatever that. And if the customer sticks his nose up, we faint. No. We are diamond people. And I remember I was in Antwerp 40 years ago, for you were learning. They were diamond people. They said, retailer, very nice. You're a retailer, good. Go and wait online. There was a sense of the dealers having power and market power and understanding what was going on. And it was a business that was driven, not pulled along, but driven by personalities like Harry Oppenheimer, who said, we're going to do it, man. We're going to make this business happen. And we're not just going to become slaves to us. Now, this argument about, what is the idea behind diamonds? Very important. It's critical. And I'm saying to you, the idea about diamonds is that diamonds are valuable, and I'm going to make that even more. But I'll ask more questions. Are diamonds more than just a luxury product? Are diamonds better than shoes and pocketbooks? What are we? Are we like shoe sellers, pocketbook sellers? Is that what the diamond business is about? Are diamonds valuable, intrinsically valuable? Without being fashionable, without being luxury, without adding all of the schmaltz and the making them and cooking them and building them and looking at them and dancing with them and modeling them and advertising them and marketing them. Besides that, are diamonds as a rare, vital commodity, are they valuable? Why are they valuable? Who makes them valuable? Who stands behind diamonds today? Nobody? Nah. So let me ask you the key questions. The big question, one question. Are diamonds a store of value in troubled times? Is that the diamond idea? I could show you a video maybe later of someone showing up in a concentration camp with something valuable that saved their life. We can talk about millions of people or hundreds of thousands of people who came after the war and had diamonds, and those diamonds allowed them to reestablish themselves. You know, people have a Rolex watch, and in Africa it's called a passport, because if, God forbid, there's a war or something happens, you have a watch, you can sneak through customs or something, you know, sneak through immigration, get out of a country. Think about that. Are diamonds having that thing? And are diamonds a store of value in troubled times? These are troubled times right now. Is there a market? Is anyone going to buy the stuff? Should we stand behind the product? Now, diamonds are a store of value if and only if there is a viable, ethical, transparent, and competitive and efficient market that provides fair value to those seeking to sell diamonds. In other words, the dealers have to get off their ass and not hide under the bed when the world comes and says we want to sell our diamonds. We have to support the product. Now, this market that we have to make, and I'm going to work at trying to make such a market, has to provide fair value. It doesn't have to be high prices. I don't care. It has to provide bids, competitive bids. Now, this kind of a market isn't it? It's a B2B market. It's not B2C. It's not luxury. It's someone saying, I believe in diamonds. I know that they're going to be worth something more, maybe later or not, and I'm willing to pay a price. Look, even Signet, with all of its problems, it trades at $8 today. It doesn't trade at nothing. Last week it traded at $20. Prices can go up, prices can go down, but it trades. So I want to make a point over here that the diamond market belongs to the dealers, not the companies, mining companies, not the retailers. The dealers are the people that have to bind together and create a market with liquidity for diamonds. We have to do this. It's the role and responsibility of the diamond dealer community to participate in markets that provide liquidity for diamonds. Without liquidity, diamonds are a fraud. Buy those synthetic diamonds. Buy the CZ. You want a little sparkle, luxury sparkle? Go ahead, who cares? But if you want something that has inherent value, you have to believe that it's valuable, and you have to put your money where your mouth is. Marketing is not going to solve the issue of whether diamonds are valuable. Taking your money out of your pocket and buying at any price doesn't matter. That's going to solve the issue. That's going to create diamonds. Because I'll tell you, if we're selling diamonds along the idea and consumers believe that diamonds are valuable, but then they find out that when the rain comes, everybody folds up the umbrellas and runs away, then we're a fraud. The idea that diamonds retain value is a fraud. And the idea that we, the diamond trade, I don't have to retail. Retail sell. He'll do whatever. He'll sell CZ. He'll sell cubic zirconia. He'll do anything. Okay, I'm not against retailers, and I believe in retailers too, and not both for sale. But the backing, you can't say a retailer. Again, retailers are going to have to buy goods because these older people are going to be selling goods, and they'll also have to support a market, and they'll have opportunities to make money. I believe, by the way, having such a market is an opportunity to make money, but we have to create liquidity in this industry, my friends. And this is God testing us. This coronavirus is saying, you guys, are the diamonds really of value, or are they just some luxury product? I got a bunch of shoes here, you know, and with something we got to really think about. Now, I believe that all diamonds have value. They have value. No one's flushing diamonds down the toilet. And they may take, it's funny. I had cubic zirconia that was coming through on some of these pawn shops were sending me tens of thousands. And I said, does anyone want to know what I actually won't buy for nothing? Zero. But diamonds have value. The Rapport Group, I'm going to work to establish a viable, competitive bid-ask market for diamonds. That's what I think we need. I'm not going to rely on mining companies or retailers. The diamond dealers themselves have to be able to say, I am willing to buy a diamond at a price. Whatever price he wants. It is vital that sellers know they can consistently get a competitive bid for a diamond. They know the price may go up, the price may go down, and it's cold in the winter, it's hot in the summer. There's seasonality. Today there's a coronavirus, and in the next year there won't be a coronavirus. And so we understand that prices, I don't think prices are important so much as the idea that I can always get a fair price, a competitive price. When I say fair, I mean competitive. So bidding and liquidity also creates confidence. If you see that a D flawless is available for 8,000 and it's bought for 8,000, okay, that's a ridiculously low price, 1 carat. But okay, I know it's 8. So I want 10, I want 12. I'm going to add value to it somehow. Okay, that's all right. But I know that there's a floor that I can stand on. And that's very important for consumer confidence. Rather than say, oh, this is like just dropping, it's just dropping, I don't know what's going to happen here. So bidding and liquidity creates confidence, and dealers need to give confidence by standing behind the product and putting their money where their mouth is. And listen, not for everybody, not for little dealers maybe, but the stakeholders in this industry need to protect it. And if they don't protect it, then other people will. It's fine with me. But the bottom line is, are diamonds a store of value in troubled times? And when you finish making this talk today and you're taking your shower tonight and you're thinking about it, are diamonds a store of value? Is that part of the diamond dream? Is that part of the diamond promise? Is that part of the idea behind diamonds? Or are we just a bunch of luxury schmuckaladies? And I think this is something that we have to address, and I'm going to address it. So, and by the way, if we buy diamonds now, if we provide a market now in the middle of coronavirus time, and people say, you know, a diamond, I didn't get as much money as I thought, but I got money. They say, I got confidence again. You want people to have confidence in diamonds, you do it. Now, let me show you an example of some weirdness. So I said, okay, let me go look around. I said, let's take 1 carat diamonds, and let's look at the different price preference curves, they're called. A D, an EVV1, an FEV2. You know, FEV2 might be the same thing as an EVS1 or something. I mean, that would be EVS, yeah, EVS1, EVS2, whatever. These are like curves if you look at the price sheet. Anyways, I said, well, how cheap is this stuff? So the best price on RAFnet for defaults, for example, is $8,084.55 below, which is unbelievably. But then I said, you know, that's maybe too cheap. Let's take a look at the 10% of the diamonds, the lowest prices, best prices. And what's the average among them? So you can see here it's 95.47 below. My friends, these are pretty good deals. Now, frankly, I don't care. Offer 7,000, 6,000, 5,000, 4,000, 2,000, 1,000. Offer something. And I'm going to do everything I can to push and pull and pray and get an industry to work together to come up with prices. Bids, not theoretical Rappaport price list prices. Bids, actual, here's the money, sir. Here's the money, sir. To buy these diamonds and start to create a bid market, which will then provide liquidity, which will then give people confidence, which will then make the point that diamonds, in fact, are a store of value. And yes, even in chrono times. Chrono times. Okay, now, this idea is important. Now, let me explain further. All right, now let's think for a minute. And I want to share this with you. I learned this in 2008 by observing some of our smarter Indian friends. You know, how do you make money in a downward moving market? How do you make money when prices are going down? Well, first thing is don't freeze. Some people, when, let's say you buy something for 10 and the market's at 7, which is only 30% decline, which you just saw the stock market's down 28%, so it's not unusual. Oh, it's unusual, but it's not impossible or crazy. What do? Some people think, oh my God, 10, now 7, put it in the safe, I'm gonna hide under my bed, I'm not gonna do anything. Mistake, big mistake. So what I saw happening is that the value of your inventory is replacement cost. It's not what you paid for, it's what you can replace it for. So what do these guys do? Let's say the diamond market is at, you bought it at 10 and the market's at 7, you sell at 8. You sell at 8. You replace it with 7, and you put $1,000 in your pocket. And you still have the same inventory. Nothing happened. You know, when the market starts to move up, the world changes. So you're breathing. You're taking something and selling it what you think is a loss, but you're replacing it with something else. And in the end, you're taking some money. You're getting customers too, because everybody else is running scared, hiding. Sell below your cost, replace, and make money. That's how you make money when markets are going down. Because you still have the same inventory, nothing happened. Now, as this banker told me, he said, as long as my client is breathing, I don't bury them. Interesting idea. Breathing, buying, selling, trading, keeping the flow of business going. Now, today, difficult. Understand, offices are closed, safes are closed. I'm not saying it's going to happen right away, but the idea that when we are in a difficult time, we don't freeze and we continue to trade even as prices goes down, that's the idea that we need in order to create a viable liquid market for diamonds. The pricing doesn't concern me. Prices will change all the time. The act that we're liquid and that we're moving and that we're trading, that is of great importance. That is the key to survival. That is the key to success, not just for the individual, but for the industry itself too. Now I'm almost done here. Yeah, I'm running around. Yeah, we'll stop questions. We'll have time. Moving into the future. So you got to embrace the future, and the future today is uncertain. Only I know it's going to be different. We're not going to go back to how things were before this coronavirus. But you can own the future. If you know, they once asked Steve Jobs, he says, "Can you predict the future?" He says, "Sure, I can predict the future." And they said, "How can you predict the future?" He says, "Well, I make the future." Now, in his case, he was right. You know, he came up with iPhones and moving things with your fingers and stuff. But the bottom line is that we can, in fact, have a very positive way of going into the future here if we're willing to change and adapt. Now, I want to say something else. Technology alone is just a tool. These people say, "Oh, I have a great way to visualize diamonds. I have a great way to grade. I'm going to take over the diamond market." Nonsense. The technology should be very important, but it's just a tool. And it's not going to replace the business of jewelry, the skill of the craftsman, the bidding and asking, the negotiations, the hustle and the hassle, and the passion of the salesperson. Yeah, maybe they'll be passionate over Zoom. Maybe they'll be passionate over the internet. I don't know. Maybe they'll be passionate other ways. But the idea that someone loves a piece of jewelry and can sell it, or the idea that you can negotiate and that you understand the material it's so well that you're not afraid to buy it, that's not going to be solved by technology so fast, or at all. Ever. Yeah, there'll be markets and there'll be ways to trade diamonds like a commodity, I'm sure, and I'll probably create some of that myself. But the ultimate business of moving to the consumer, certainly, and even inside the trade, in the B2B world, is not going to be replaced by technology. So don't believe in technology. We're not selling technology. Remember that. We are selling beautiful diamonds and jewelry to loving people. And you see, you got to transcend this whole technology thing and not believe the new God is the God of technology. The fundamentals of business are going to remain. Now, our ability to optimize the use of technology and adapt it to our needs. I own the technology, you're going to say to yourself. I will use it how my buddy will want to use it. Why? To meet the needs of the customers. That's the game. So when we see this digital world popping up like warp speed mushrooms, we go, "Oh my God, what's going on here? Everything's changing. I can barely keep track." And I'll tell you, even me, I'm sitting here and I'm watching technology move so fast. In the old days, I was the leader of every technological possible thing. Now, thank God, I got wonderful people that work with me, team members, but technology is moving so fast, it's very hard. Do you understand exactly how Slack works? Do you understand exactly how to use Twitter to make money? There's so many different things going on. But in any case, don't freak out. It's going to happen fast. Everybody's going to be confused. But that is going to be the future. The future is going to be digital. Okay. So, but we have to remember the customer, and we have to transcend the technology, transcend the product to the customer. And whether the customer is a jeweler, whether the customer is a consumer, whether the customer is another dealer, we have to be thinking about how does this market work now in this new world, okay? Where people shut stores, maybe there's different kind of stores, you know, and how the whole world's going to work. Now, one other thing here, let me just move along. So the big idea is that the real idea behind diamonds is their store value in troubled times. You want to sell fashion? Go ahead. I'm not against people who want to sell fashion, want to sell luxury, want to take a diamond and put it into Uji Haji and turn it into something that's whatever. That's fine. Take the product, add value to it any way that you can. And you'll probably be successful if the added value that you've made, you know, is worth it. You know, it's the value that added value. Consumers are willing to pay you for it. That's great. But I'm a diamond guy, a jewelry guy now if I'm buying a stage jewelry. And I'm looking at what is the thing worth? And this guy's going to make a brand, that guy's going to make it a Tiffany, that guy's going to make it a Van Cleef, that guy's going to make it I don't know what, okay? A little jewelry that'll sell in Amazon, who cares? But I'm looking at the basic diamond itself and saying, guys, It's nice to talk about luxury all day, but it's time we return to our roots and we really understood what are diamonds, the basic value of these diamonds. And we got to put our money where our mouth is and buy them and trade them. Our ability to provide liquidity to customers is the key to the survival of the diamond industry. If we turn around today and we say, guess what, there's Corona and we don't buy and we're not going to make a market, and all you consumers who bought diamonds thinking that they were a store of value, nah, you're suckers. End of the diamond business, my friends. I don't even think you can sell luxury. You might as well sell synthetics or cubic zirconia or something else if all you're interested in is sparkle. I think cubic zirconia has a higher refractive index than diamonds do. So we better think about what are these diamonds and what is our jewelry and what is estate jewelry to what is this stuff? Is this thing have real value? Fashion and luxury may come and go, okay? But the value of diamonds, that's what's forever. And we need to understand that. We need to believe in it. We have to put our money where our mouth is about. Anyways, this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we need to create a market. We need to create liquidity. We need to go in deep to the diamonds. Let other people make all the added value stories that they like. But we cannot hitch our wagon to the added value and then it destroys or it drops or it moves. We have to go back to basics. And basics is what is the actual value of the diamond, as it stands itself. So that's my speech, guys. All right. Now I think we have some questions maybe. I hope people found
we have some questions in the QA, and if anybody wants to ask a question, just raise your hand on the Zoom meeting. And yeah, I've got some raised hands. Richard Rubenstein.
All right. How does what I'm going to do is this. First, I'll read these only two questions.
Okay, read out the questions, yeah.
How does the, this is from Anna J, the LVMH purchase of Tiffany impact their value? Well, it could be the value of Tiffany or the value of LVMH. But since you used LVMH first, I imagine you said you meant that. But it's the same in many ways. Branding. What is a brand? A brand is a promise to the customer. Tiffany's promise to the customer is value, and not so much value. I would say it's the quality. I was once talking to Mr. Cheney. In those days, Tiffany was going bankrupt, and they just finished, and there was a leverage buyout. And I sat in his office at Fifth Avenue, and he said to me, he said, you know, the amazing thing about Tiffany, he said, is that we put in a revolving door. All the other big brands, you know, what's the big doors, revolving door. Affordable luxury. And what he said was, he said, we'll sell a little baby teaspoon, and he said to me, for, I don't know, $25, $30. But it'll be the best baby teaspoon that you'll be able to buy anywhere. This bestness is what I think Tiffany's brand is about. And they're very strict, they're very quality oriented. And I think that's great. So I think that's a good thing. And I think LVMH is going to benefit from having them as part of their thing. And Tiffany will probably benefit as well. The shareholders certainly did, because they'll be able to hook up with them. Now, the problem is, though, that they're getting bigger. You know, my wife used to get things at Tiffany, and then one day she went in, and the customer service people were just terrible. And she had expected them for many years of working and buying and bringing things to get excellent customer service. And the customer service was found wanting, and she's never gotten back in there. And so when you build these brands and you build these expectations, going into the LVMH story, it's going to be a greater challenge to provide that level of customer service, I think. I'm not sure. Being part of a bigger organization. But I do think that bigger organizations can also, you know, Nordstrom's, any number of larger organizations can provide excellent customer service. So I would say to you that the quality of the product is definitely great. And now they just have to make sure that the quality of the service is great. And when you put those two things together, and you'll realize, you know, it's good to be in the jewelry business selling wealthy people. But not just wealthy people. Tiffany made a lot of their money in silver, by the way, because it was aspirational luxury, if you want, whatever. But in any case, I think it's a great deal for both Tiffany and LVMH. And I think that the value of Tiffany will go well as long as they continue to stay the route. Okay, stay the route. To your point of what a 10 replace the value with somebody, put yourself on the mute. I think those are our guys. Everyone's working from home today. So I love kids. It's all right. to your point of bought at 10, replacement value is 7, sell at 8. If the replacement value is 7, why would someone buy yours at 8 if they can get it? Because they can't get it elsewhere at 7. The whole idea of the dealer market is you can buy cheaper and you can sell for more. And that's what was evidenced in 2008. The idea that you have an ability to add value is fundamental to who you are, to your ability to be in the diamond business or any business. Now, if you can't add value, then just get out. But if you can add value, let's assume you know how to buy something for X and sell for X plus Y, and now the market has gone down and you've crawled under your bed and you're no longer doing your magic of being able to add value because you have customers or you know how to sort, whatever your story is. So you know how to do that. But what happened is you ran away because the cost of your goods was, the market was below the cost of your goods. That's what I'm warning you about. Don't marry the diamonds, okay? What is the best thing to do right now being a wholesale dealer? Well, first of all, specialize. There's riches in the niches. Know the product really well, and then segment out the customers that you believe are really good. What are we doing at Rappaport? Okay, so we're not buying any inventory. We have a harder job. We gotta sell stuff without buying it first. But what you want to do is you want to segment out your customers. First of all, find your strength. Don't be everything to everybody everywhere. Second of all, find the customers. There'll always be enough product. Obviously, if you know product, you're a great diamond cutter, you know how to do it. I got a friend, he does cushions, he lives cushions, he eats and sleeps and breathes cushions. He does cushions, so that's it. And so he's got his niche. And it's good because he's passionate about cushions. But what I'm saying to you is the product and you have to have a relationship. But most important is to have customers. So segment out your customers, identify them, get to know them, be the specialist for them in certain areas, and then curate products to them. So when you call them, you're going to try to give them something that they really want and that they really need and that they really love. I know we're a little over time. I'm going to tell you a quick story. I'm now in Jerusalem. King Solomon was on the road to Jerusalem a couple thousand years ago, and he saw a target. And in the middle of the target, he saw an arrow, and he saw another target with an arrow, another target with a perfect arrow. And when he reached Jerusalem, he said to his people, he said, "Could you bring me this archer? I want him to train my archers to shoot perfect arrows." So they brought him a kid. Say it was King David. They brought him a kid. What kid? How do you do that? He says, very simply. He says, first I shoot the arrow, then I draw the circles. So if you're asking me what you need to do, you need to identify good customers who are going to pay you, by the way, and then draw circles around them. Give them products that really help them make money. And if you help people make money, they will love you and you will have a successful dealer. Neela Sheth, nice suggestion for dealers. Your suggestion for miners and manufacturers. Well, miners should take care of themselves. And I'm not going to suggest what they do. And I'm not going to believe in charity. I think if we're going to make a market, it has to be profitable, and maybe the miners will come. Manufacturers, stop paying stupid prices for rough. Stop playing games with credit. Stop, just in general, stop screwing around. In other words, maybe a jewelry manufacturer is fine, and you should be a good quality person making quality products. Make sure your supply chain is kosher and clean, okay? Now, should you reduce production to clear the diamonds sitting in the pipeline? Yeah, obviously. Why produce if you can't sell? The only reason to make something is because you can sell it. So I think this blind, we're going to keep producing, we're in love with rough. I chill it. Many years ago, someone said to me in Israel, what should we do? And I said, times are tough, rough is high, go on vacation. He said, what should I do with my employees? I said, take them on vacation with you. And he laughed. Apparently he did it because he came back to me about a year later. He said, Rappaport, you saved my business. Because if you just keep doing things that you lose money, a fool and his money are soon departed, are soon separated. So only do what you can make money with. And, if you want to believe in things, get a religion, believe in God, that's fine. But I don't believe in business per se. I think it's important for us to have profits, and it's important for us to have our feet planted firmly in the ground. By the way, why manufacture if you can buy polished? Now, assuming you know how to sell the stuff, why do you want to manufacture and get your hands dirty? So I would buy polish. If I was a manufacturer and I had customers and the price of the polish is less than the cost for me to manufacture it, I would run out and buy polished. And then you're going to fix the market also because polished prices will go up because you're buying them. So I think that the diamond industry is irrational when it comes to manufacturing. And the miners, I don't believe that miners are nice people. They are nice people and they should be nice people, but they're not your daddies. They're not your mommies. The miners are not going to take care of you long term. That's what I think. Maybe I'm wrong. And you want to take some calls over here, Joshua?
Yes. Right. So we have Richard Rubinstein wanted to ask something. Go ahead, Richard.
Oh, I see him. Okay, good.
Did you receive my email?
I see it. I'll read the thing so Richard, you can be cool. Hi, how should a small guy, everybody's small, promote his GIA stones to a retailer? How to promote one-of-a-kind items? Well, you got to really spend some time thinking about who these retailers are and why do they need you. You're just pushing another stone out there. You know, I once had a discussion with the head of the Bears, and the nice one. The Bears was the Bears. Had a beautiful office, the floor. It was very, very prestigious. They had kosher. They had a big dining room, not big, a very fancy dining room. They actually served you kosher food and everything. And he was saying to me, "How do I get prices higher?" And I said, I reached into my soup with a fork. I took out a noodle, and I said, "Okay, push the noodle." You can't push a noodle. Wet noodle. You can pull the noodle. Now, the idea that you're going to pull instead of push is key to your promotions. In other words, if you just try to push goods that everybody else has, you're not going anywhere really. And where's your added value? Where's your unique selling proposition? Where's your benefit? Okay. Now, if you have a brand, then you know that everyone knows they buy from you. They're going to get a perfectly shaped pear shape, or they're going to get hearts with Mickey Mouse ears, or whatever it is. That's fine. But if you want to promote, if first of all, understand your customer and don't think about the product, just think about what does the customer need. Mostly, what can the customer make money from? That's where you want to be. If you help a guy make money, he will love you and you will make money too. The second, how to promote one-of-a-kind item. Okay, well, it depends what it is, but again, find the customer. Draw the circle around the arrow. I think the arrow should be people rather than product, but if you do have a unique product, you got to really think about who wants it. Why do they want it? What's its purpose? What's its benefit? What does it do for someone? So you really got to understand what its real benefits are going to be. Okay. You mean the site system? What do you mean by the site system? Okay. I feel that the system of sales from the mines is outdated and needs to change. Do you see that sites changing? Yeah. As a matter of fact, they changed it now. Their deal with the European Commission for 6 years is, I think, over. I think it was the European Commission, whoever it was. And they're now going to be segmenting the market so they can sell people. The problem with the site system is this problem of thinking that they can move into the luxury sector and they can move downstream. In other words, the stuff that I've been talking about today doesn't come from nowhere. The reason that the dealer markets have been decapitated, or I should say decapitalized, is because the mining companies and others have said, well, we can make more money going direct to the consumer. We can open our own stores. We can have our own brands. We should go downstream and we should cut out the dealers. Okay, congratulations. You've cut out the dealers now. Go kiss Signet's ass. Excuse me for talking. Excuse me for talking so rough. That's it. There's your Signet. Great. That's it. You went. Congratulations. You cut out all the dealers who could have provided liquidity in tough times. You cut out all the dealers who can keep the value of diamonds there, even in tough times. You chopped them up. You fed them to the fish. You jumped over them because of greed. I'm going to get every last penny here. The great thing about Harry Oppenheimer, and I did have a chance to meet with him and talk with him. You know, I went and said to him, "You're a monopolist." And he said to me, "I'm a benevolent monopolist." Okay? He was benevolent. He left money on the table. He did not try to squeeze every dollar out of everything. And he knew he needed a dealer market. He wanted those people to make money so that they would keep the liquidity, keep the market going. And he had seen tough times. He had seen the Depression. He had seen all kinds of things. Okay? So this idea that we're going to be in a situation where we have dealers is fundamental. So they're going to have to change the site system. I think they got baned. That's a funny phrasing. Well, they got something into thinking that the ultimate goal for the mining company would be to go from the mine to the finger. And I think they're going to get the finger. They're going to get that finger. Yeah. But fundamentally, I think the dealer markets is the way they have to go. I don't know what they'll do, but they'll bumble and bang around until they finally figure out that you do need dealers to provide liquidity to markets, particularly when markets are tough. But I don't think we should care about the site system so much. What, 80 people, 70 people, 90 people? Yeah, they're stakeholders. They're important. They provide goods. But I'm worried about the 100,000 and the millions of people in this industry who need to make a living selling polished. Or if they're rough, if they're miners, that's a whole other story dealing with artisanal miners or the people that are supporting it. And I must say that De Beers does a good job. They have great corporate social responsibility for the people in Africa who work in their mines, and Alrosa treats their people well too. So there's a lot of good to be said about mining companies as well. But the distribution system, I think, has a lot of problems in it. And by the way, it's not just the mining companies. I don't know how the hell these people are buying diamonds, rough diamonds at prices that guarantee them to lose money. I mean,
Okay.
yeah. Next.
Sumesh Wadhera. You can go, take yourself off mute and you can speak.
Sumesh, my friend Sumesh.
Sumesh? Okay, if not Sumesh, then we have, there we go, yes.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, hi Sumesh, it's great to hear your voice.
Hi Martin, hi, great to hear you after a long time. Hope you are doing well. Okay, I have a question that, in India, we have a lot of diamond jewelry manufacturing, cutting, polishing, which is dependent on exports and not much on the domestic consumption. So in view of the coronavirus disaster, this kind of issues going on, what do you see? What do you suggest to the Indian jewelry exporters who are dependent on US, on Europe, and on the Chinese Hong Kong market in this current coronavirus turmoil?
Well, let's see. First of all, you have to have patience. So you need to stop manufacturing. And I know it's hard to say that because they're employees, and I know Surat just took a decision to continue manufacturing, but you have to be careful because even before this virus, there's too much goods in the pipeline. Now, having customers, of course, helps. But, you had big customers like Signet and other guys. And I'm using Signet as an example I keep mentioning today. It's not just Signet. All these jewelers there. Today, the jewelry shops are closed. Everyone's at home. Not only are the shops closed, the customers are closed. The customers are. So right now, you got to take a breath and learn to kind of reset your clock. Utilizing internet technology and finding ways to hook up with people will be important. We're going to be working on doing some kind of a connection business to help people to sell. But you really have to have the ability to wait a bit right now. I just don't think that this scenario, this situation is going to get resolved. I mentioned the whiplash effect. Yeah, I mentioned the whiplash effect as well. So I think that the Indian diamond manufacturer, the jewelry manufacturer, is going to have to wait a little bit. There is a thinking that China will come back first. I know the government of China is trying to push things to return to normal as soon as possible. There might be some pent-up demand coming, but right now for the next weeks, I just think we're going the other direction where people are more and more isolation. People are more and more out of the market. And so I think they have to be very careful about manufacturing and they have to reduce their risk and they have to slow down. It's like in the winter, it's cold. In the summer, it's hot. And you wear different clothes. And so you have to recognize this is one of these slow times right now. Is that okay, Sumesh?
Yeah. Thanks, Martin, for your valuable input.
Slow down, guys. Let's take it easy. Go on vacation, okay?
Seth Bloomgarden, you can unmute yourself. I'm trying to get yourself on the speaker. Seth Bloomgarden, you raise your hand.
It'll take him a minute. That's technology. We're doing good technology. So, things take a moment. I see Seth. I see Seth.
Yeah, Seth. Yeah, go ahead, Seth.
I see his email here, so maybe I'll do that instead of listening to him if he
Yeah.
can't speak. What do you think this crisis will do for the development of further origin sustainability? I see and stuff. I think it's going to be great. And traceability initiatives in our industry. Will the added expense of these slow down the process, or will it become more? It'll become more essential. There's no question in my mind that supply chains are now being looked at very carefully. In the old days, you just I don't care where I'm buying things from. Congratulations, you ended up buying from China, and President Trump slapping a huge tax on you. The idea that you are intimately familiar with where your diamonds and your jewelry comes from, and that the supply chain is an integral part of your business, is fundamental to who you are, to your identity as a person, as a company, as a dealer, as a retailer. And so I think that this idea of knowing where your diamonds come from is going to be key. I think there's going to be more social responsibility competition. So if someone says, hi, I've got Forevermark and I've got this capability of saying where it's coming from, and you're another jeweler or you're another dealer and you don't have that capability, we're going to be working to introduce, I believe it's a Green Star program on RapNet, where we will be able at Rappaport to verify the sourcing of diamonds from the rough to the polished grading report, say to the polished and to the grading report. So I think this is just going to keep growing and going. I think it should. And I think that the millennial customer, just any decent customer says, listen, don't sell me a blood diamond. I care where it came from. Let me know where my product's coming from. So I think this is going to become more and more prevalent. I think Matthew Gable here, why is I see that Blue Nile is selling less than RDR and other wholesalers. I don't know what you mean by selling less. I mean lower prices. Is that what he means? And they might be able to sell at lower prices. Take a look. A lot of their stones end up being strong blues. And there's a whole question about fluorescence, but I don't know that they're selling that much less than the wholesalers, but if they are, then, welcome to the world of the internet price competition. One of the sick things about business is that people raise money from venture capitalists and they don't have to make a profit. They just have to grab market share. I don't know if Blue Nile is still trying to do that. They're already an old company. Amazon certainly did it and does it. They get lost leaders. They go and they sell stuff and they say, I don't care if we're making money. We just want to grab the customers. And then when we get a certain amount of customers, we'll get a higher evaluation for our company. And our company will be worth more. We'll get market cap, we'll sell the business, etc. I think Mark Vadon picked up $500 million on Blue Nile doing, but because it was a story. Now, and I don't think they're making much money anyhow. So the idea of you have competitors that don't have to make money. And now you're in that world. So there's a lot of that going on. And you're going to have to think about how you position yourself. And you want to maybe to some degree uncommoditize what you're doing. Why should someone buy from you instead of Blue Nile? Probably should have some kind of an answer. Why should they buy from you instead of James Allen? And I'm telling you, all the consumers are running to the internet now. So we're going to have to figure out new strategies to sell. You're going to get warp speeded here. So think about that. You're going to have to compete. By the way, the lowest price seller in the entire United States is Costco. I don't know how many millions, 120 million customers they have, everyone giving them $100 and $1 billion is membership fees. They don't have to make money on the diamonds. So they can compete against you and say, we don't have to make profits because we're already getting membership fees. And, someone just bought a $600,000 diamond from them. So I'm just saying to you, it's a competitive world, new technology, new ways of doing business, and you're going to have to find ways to compete. But ask yourself, when you get up in the morning and look in the mirror, who needs me? Where are you adding value? There are many ways to add value. But if you don't have a way to add value, consider going into real estate. All I can tell you is you got to find a way to add value. And that's the key to who you are, what your identity is and stuff like that.
Sahil Kotari wanted to ask a question as well. Sahil?
Sure, go ahead, Sahil.
Hey, how's it going, Martin?
Thank God.
I have two questions. So I'm 35, kind of seen maybe 10 years of the industry and looking forward to another 30. So just wanted to know, since I've started, I've seen a lot of, there used to be a lot of players in the marketplace, and this is everywhere from the amount of site holders, amount of manufacturers, amount of dealers. And that has shrunk probably over the last 10 years and a bit more consolidation where everyone just wants to have more efficient marketplaces. But at times like this, you mentioned a lot about focusing on your business, finding a niche, and wanted to know that, do you feel after this, say, shakeout and life post-corona, there will be, whatever scope of business there is, will there be less players just because of consolidation, or will there actually be more players, but all with reduced businesses, but very laser focused on what they need to do? So that was just one broad question. And then the second one, if this freeze continues for 2 to 3 months, based on liquidity and debt financing, what % of the industry may not be able to just survive just due to debt payments?
Well, let me cover two things here. First of all, I think there's a lot of really excellent niches in the market. I don't know where you're calling from, but if you're calling from the States, there's going to be 97 million Americans over the age of 65. Diamonds are forever. Little old ladies are not. There's 23.7 million Americans over the age of 75. Or 70, I forgot which one it was. Now, wow, they're going to want to sell their jewelry. And who's going to buy it? Smart guys like you and me. Well, I'll make a market, actually. I'm not going to buy it myself, but we'll make auctions and this and that. So there's so many interesting areas. Who's buying diamonds? Who's buying polished? Wherever you see people who are not there, that's where you may want to consider being. I think the resale market's going to be huge. Billions of dollars a year. I think that there's any number of areas which will offer opportunity, but Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Jack, get your magic stick or something. You gotta dance. And not only that, the disruption or this destructive, what I call it, this destructive creation. This is going to change the world so much that it's like they just shuffled the deck again. So it's not going to be that easy for those people who dominate the market to continue to dominate the market. If you said, okay, there's less people, there's less site holders, now everything's organized, they've bypassed the dealer market, everything's fine. Now God goes up and he scrambles the deck and now everybody doesn't know what they're doing. I don't know that there's an advantage to being a big site holder today.
Right.
And certainly if you were selling Signet, it may not be. Or if you're selling other people who are getting disrupted because their stores are in malls or whatever. So I think that this change opens opportunity for people to come in and find new niches to do business. And I'm specifically mentioning areas like what I'm trying to do now to create a market with liquidity, dealers. There's a market for recycled diamonds. There's all kinds of opportunities out there. Your second question was a little more complicated. What was your second question again?
Second question was just, there's so much liquidity or,
Yeah. So let me answer. So first of all, again, liquidity is a big issue, but interest rates are close to zero, which means there's a lot of money out there, and the government is flooding money into this whole world right now like crazy. So, I think people can wait. I think I was just listening to a senator talking on, I forgot what it was, CNN or something. And he was saying, it was actually a Republican senator. I like Republicans, this woman. And so she was saying that we want to now increase unemployment or send people checks because we want companies to be able to retain their employees, not fire them now.
Right.
Even though their stores are closed, because then they'll have those employees when things get better. And so this idea that government is funding and giving money, making money available will help a lot of smaller people. And so I think that the government, the president is putting together, he wants to put $1 trillion together, he's doing $500 billion. There's a lot of money that's getting pushed out there now. Interest rates are excessively low. So I don't think people will have to go out of business if they're normal retailers for the normal business. But if they were already dying before the coronavirus came in, because of a lot of reasons, mismanagement or whatever have you, then also, then they're not going to get saved here. I think that there will be sufficient help in terms of the coronavirus. I would also point out that young people, a lot of these jewelers are older guys, older women, they're sold. And kids have not gone into the jewelry business. So there's a lot of closings because of that as well. We are seeing a generational shift as baby boomers start to remove themselves from the game, retire, and younger people don't necessarily go in. So that's also somewhat helpful because there's less people to make more money. But I don't see that everybody who survives is going to have to be smaller or anything. I think there's a lot of opportunity and there's sufficient disturbances in the environment that there will be opportunities for especially people who understand the internet, understand new ways to sell. Okay, next.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. I'll just read out one more question, which we have here. Where are pink diamonds going?
Well, pink diamonds were a great niche. They're still a great niche. Fancy colors have a story to tell. And there's no Rappaport list. There's also no Rappaport, so that's great, so you can sell them for all kinds of things. I think there's a very strong move to fine quality. To some degree, the pinks and the blues. I saw a blue diamond, unbelievable, a $20 million blue diamond. But I think that, you have to really understand that market. And there's all kinds of pinks. The brownish pinks, the Argyle pinks, the Argyle pinks, Argyle's kind of shutting down, obviously, less of those. But I think it'll always be an interesting article. But I wouldn't buy it and think, oh, the price is going to go up. You got to make it more valuable. It doesn't become more valuable in itself. The scarcity they're much better than yellows, by the way. So I think pink diamonds is a nice thing. But you got to get a real pink. People show up with these little fuzzy wuzzy little coochie coos. It's not a pink. It's not really pink. You say pink, it should be real pink. And in the color world, very complicated because everybody sees color differently, literally. So, and the grading systems are very, sometimes you get more for a deep than you will for a vivid even. So there's no monotonically increasing the preference function for color. It moves around too much. So in any case, I think there's a good market if you have really good stuff. But the idea is to curate, to be an expert, and to have very nice stuff. There are people who sell regular pinks, nothing super about them. Also, but pink by itself is already a very curated item. So, but try to be honest about it being really pink, though. Okay, not just a grading report.
Okay, I think we finished with the questions. Unless anybody else wants to raise a hand quickly, but I think we're done.
Okay. All right. So that's great. Yes, 7:30.
We have David, Chris. David, you can speak. David? David Christ? I've unmuted you. Just make sure your microphone is working.
Okay. I am seeing.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
No?
Not yet? Okay. I see Alexander Daniel has asked for something here about the commoditization of diamonds. And I think there is commoditization of diamonds, and there should be commoditization of diamonds, so there's liquidity. And I'm saying to you, the issue of price is about added value. So is a commoditized diamond worth more in the hands of a retailer that knows how to design a beautiful ring around it and find the customer for it and stuff? Yes. And so the diamond itself as a commodity doesn't have a huge added value opportunity unless you're really adding value. And you're not going to be able to sell something just because it exists at a higher price. I think the trend we're seeing, some of the prices, prices may be down, but imagine like, steel, and you can make a car out of it, okay? That's great. You buy the steel, you make the car. You add value. And I think the challenge for the industry and the challenge for individuals in the industry is to find ways to add value to this diamond. But I have been arguing today in my talk that the basic product has to have a very strong sense of value, and this commodity value, if you call it that. And then go add value, find ways to add value. But just flipping diamonds, you can may as well flip hamburgers at McDonald's. You're not going to make a lot of money unless you add value. You have anything else for me, Joshua, or was there anyone else? Are we done?
No, I think that's we're done. I think that's you can have ending notes.
Well, the only note is to thank everybody. Everybody, look, please wash your hands after you hear this talk. Stay home. Stay home. Have fun. Talk to everybody on Zoom. By the way, the market was crashing. I was very lucky. I got out of the market the first time it went down, and I bought Zoom.
Thank you
hanging
very
out.
much. Thank you very much.
I hope you enjoyed it. All the best, my friends. Bye.
All the best. Thank you very much.